Welcome everyone. Today we'll see how we can automate Salesforce using ACCELQ. So let's consider this scenario. We go into the Salesforce login page. Then we click on login to Sandbox. And then once we click on login, we will wait for the dashboard to appear. So this is the Lightning interface. And then once the dashboard appears, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the relationships tab, which is over here. And then once you click on the relationships tab, we're going to create a new relationship. So we say new, we select individual, we say next, and then here we select any title. Okay, and then we say save. And once the relationship is created, what we do is we'll check if the name that we entered is the same that is over here. And then we are going to click on the relationships tab. And in this grid, we are going to confirm whether this relationship has been created. Once we do this, we are going to go here. We're going to log out. And that's about it. So let's quickly get started. So the first thing we do is we go into the context and let's just create a few contexts. So the first one here is Salesforce login page context. So we say save and continue. We say record new view, and we record this particular login page view. So let's record this and wait for a few seconds. Now this is recorded. We say add view. Then we continue recording. And what we need to capture is the Lightning dashboard or the homepage dashboard. Okay, so we're going to capture this particular dashboard. So we say record view. So let's capture this dashboard, and here we'll say it's a new context, which is Salesforce homepage. Say add view. And if you remember, we also want to log out. So we will capture this particular view, which is clicking on the profile image and logging out. So let's capture this view. We'll say record view, and let's give it a second. And now this is getting captured. So this is the home page basically, and the view name we'll give it as logout. So here we have added this view. Then we'll continue recording. We want to record the relationships page. So we go here, we say record view again. And now we're going to record the relationships page. Okay. So let's give it a second. And now we say SF relationship page. Okay. So we have recorded the relationships page view. We say add view. We still continue recording. We want to click on new. And there's a new relationship record type selection pop-up which comes up. So let's record this as well, because we would automate this too. So let's give it a second again, and now this is recorded. So this is relationship page. We say the view name is record type selection. Okay, we add the view, and now we select and say next here. So we want to capture this view as well. So we say continue recording, and then we capture this particular view as well. Okay, so we say record view. So here we are going to enter the relationship name and click on save. So this view is recorded. This is a part of the relationship page. We say This view is the info or the information page view. So add view. Again, we continue recording. Let's just type something for now. This demo, and we say save. So now the new relationship is created here. We record this particular view because we want to compare this particular title here. So we record this view, and let's name this view as relationship view post create. Okay, so we'll say SF relationship post create context. Okay, and we say add view, and now I think we are good to go, and let's say save and done. So all our context that we need are created. Okay, now let's start to write the action logic for this. So we say done here. Now let's create the action logics. So the first step will be to log in. Okay, so say log into Salesforce. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to enter the username and the password. Okay, and this is what we're going to do, and then log in into Sandbox. Okay, so we say here the context is login page, and you're going to go to the home page. Okay, so you say save and continue here. Now let's write the action logic for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say enter text in web element. So here we are going to enter the username. Okay, and this is going to be our username web element. Say save. Then we're going to enter encrypted text, and this is going to be our password. So we say it's going to be a new action input, which is password. Okay, we say okay, and we say here password input. Okay, and we say save here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on login. So we say click on login web button, and we are good. So here we have clicked on username, entered the username, password, clicked on login button. Now let's just also add a wait. So we say wait for web element, wait for login web button to disappear, and then we're good to go. So now this transitions from the login page to the home page. Okay, so we are good here doing the login to Salesforce action. Now also let's get into now the home page. Now what we're going to do here is specifically clicking on or navigating to the relationships tab. So let's create this particular action. Let's say navigating to tab. Let's keep this generic. So we say we are on the home page, and the destination context can be multiple destination contexts. So we can go into the home page, we can go into the relationships page, right? So that's why we select multiple context and we say save. Okay, and then go save and continue. So now in here we want to navigate to the various tabs here, right? So our basic context now is to click on the relationships tab. So what we do here is we save this element to the repository. Now we don't want to select it as relationships, so we uncheck this so that it becomes generic, and we select a better class, right? So SLDS truncate. So that's how you remove any sort of textual hard coding that can be there, so it can work with any tab. Okay, so we have used specifically the tag and the class, so it has to identify this links, right? So you make sure that none of the other titles which are like specifically mentioning relationships are selected. So we're good to go now. We say save. So one thing before you do and click on save, you need to make sure that you are creating the concept of repeat elements, right? So we don't want to specifically just select one particular object here. So we're going to remove any sort of href hard coding. So let's also just make the class selection neater, and we say update. Okay, so we are good now. We select the repeat element and say save, and let's put this name as tab name. Okay, so we add this element. So what we have done here now is specifically made this kind of generic, so we can select any tab we want. So first and foremost, let's just, as a great practice, we just wait for the web element to appear, right? So we can wait for the web element to appear. So we just say appear, right? And then what we do here is we are going to locate the container tab name based on text, which is relationships, right, which is going to be our tab name, which is you see here. Okay, and once you have selected the tab name, you click on the particular tab name. Okay, so all good here. We have navigated to the relationships tab, and we know that our destination context could be anything with regard to tab. So right now we have created 2 destination contexts. You could have more context as you progress and mature your scripts. So we are done navigating to the tab. Okay, now another thing we need to do is also when you click on relationships tab, you need to create on the new relationship. So let's create this action. We say create a new relationship, so we are on the relationships page, and with the creation we will land into the Salesforce relationship post create context. So we say save and continue. Now let's write this particular logic. So the first thing is you go to the main screen or the main dashboard, and here you need to click on new button, see okay, and you say save. You can also add a wait before this, so new statement before. You can say wait for web element new to appear and then click. Okay, so you have clicked on new web element here. Now after that, what you do is you have to click on new relationship. So what we're going to do here is, again, we are going to make it dynamic. So you say here remove the text property here, so that you can select anything based on whatever you wish. So here we're going to select individual, so we say update, say repeat element, we say first, and save. Okay, so here we say it's record type. Okay, and we say add element. So here we have selected the record type. Now what we need to do is locate container by text content again, record type, say text contains individual, right? So here what you're going to do is you're going to select individual, okay, and you say enter, and then you say click on web element record type. Okay, so this is going to click on the individual link here, and then you're going to say next. So you select here, you say next here, and you say okay, we are good here, so we say save. So once you are done with clicking on next, you need to go to another view where you have to enter the relationship name. So you say here to enter the relationship name. Okay, so before we enter the relationship name, what we can do is let's create a random string. So we say get formatted length, let's create an alphabetic string, let's prefix it with say Salesforce underscore. Okay, we don't want any suffix, let's keep the length as 8. Okay, then let's capture this particular name as an action output parameter, and here we say it is relationship name. So reason why we want to capture this as an output parameter is because we want to verify this in the post creation as well as in the web table as well. Okay, so we create this as an output parameter, and then what we do is we also enter this particular value, which is an action parameter, which is relationship name, in the relationship name web element. Okay, and then we say okay, say save. So we are done entering the name. Then we will also click on save button here, and we say here save, and we say okay, and we're good to go. So now your new relationship has been created. Now the rest is to verify this particular value. Okay, so now we are going from the relationships page to the relationship post create page. Okay, so now this relationship is created. Now once this relationship is created, what you have to do is you want to verify relationship in post create page. So our context is going to be relationship post create, and we are going to do is remain on the current context itself. So we say save and continue, and here what we're going to do is we're just going to verify this particular title. Okay, so we're going to add this, making sure that this is kind of generic, right? And we say save, and let's say this is relationship title, and we say add element. Okay, so let's add again a dynamic wait to wait for this to appear. And then what we do here is, you just have to verify this value. So you say verify web element, and then you say exist. If you want, you can do this. Probably we want to just verify the text. So what we'll do is we will verify web element text. Okay, so we say verify text web element text. So we say here web element, and we say verify text of relationship title, and we say expected value equals, we take it as an input parameter, and we say is to the relationship name. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to verify the text of relationship title, and then we are going to take it and compare it with the relationship name. Okay, so we don't need this second line, so let's just delete this one. So I delete it. Okay, so now we are good here with verification of relationship title. Whatever we have created, we will pass it on to this particular function, and then let's compare these values. Okay, so we have done the verification step. Now what we want to do is we have to go into the relationships tab here. So we'll reuse the navigate method or test step. And now what we're going to do is the last step, probably the second last one, which is also verify relationship in table. So we say around the relationships page, we will remain on the current context. We'll say save and continue. Now here what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the main dashboard or the main page. So we will first save this web table. Okay, so we say save element to repository, and now we have saved this table. Okay, we call this relationship table, say for example, say add element. So we have saved this relationship table. If you see here, you can see the row numbers and column numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to verify whether this particular element is present in column number 3. Okay, so what we're going to do now is find the matching row. So we say here find the web table row with text. So we say find web table row with text. We say relationship table. We say given column number is 3, enter, and we say table row. We have to write the matching text. So column text, what we are looking at is going to be an input parameter. So we say here action parameter, and we say new input. We say this is going to be relationship name. Say okay, and let's just capture this as a local parameter. We don't need it as a output parameter, so let's take it as a local parameter. Let's say table row. So what this is going to do is going to find out the row number where the relationship name matches. So we will say table row, and then we'll say verify numeric. Okay, and we're going to say if not equals, so verify if the table row is not equal to -1, and then you can say relationship name found in table. Okay, and then you say enter, and this is about it. Like you have verifying that the table row contains the relationship name. Okay, so now this is done. Now what you need to do is you also need to log out. So you say logout of Salesforce. You are on the home page, and you will go back to the login page. Okay, so you say save and continue. So in the logout, what we need to do is specifically we need to click on this profile page or image, sorry. So we say click, we say profile image. Okay, and we don't select the class as activated because let's take something generic. We say AQ data, we update it, and we say, so we click on save. So after this, what we need to do is specifically to click on logout. So we say click on logout button. So it's a logout web link. Say okay, and we're good. Okay, so we have clicked on the profile image and we have logged out. So we're good here. All our actions are created, all our contexts are created. Let's synchronize each of these contexts. So we go to home page. We say here, wait for profile image to exist, and we should be good. Then we are going to go to relationships page. Let's say we want the new button to be exist. So we say okay here. As a synchronization step in the relationship post create, we want to make sure that the relationship title exists. So we say okay. And then we want to make sure that the login page has a username created here. So we say username and we say wait for it to exist and we say okay. So now we are good here. So we have created our login pages and synchronizations all set up. Now let's create a scenario. So we say create scenario, verify relationship creation in Salesforce. So we say save and continue. Okay, so it's gonna be really easy. We're going to log out here now after our steps are done, right? And we say add step, and I say invoke browser, and you can set it as a global URL. So I just say Salesforce has a global URL here, which I select. Okay, or else you can give the static value as well. So that is one thing you can do. So let's take it as a global property, and then I say I'm going to go into the login page. I say add step, and then here I'm going to log in into Salesforce, where I'm going to specify the username and the password, and then I'm going to navigate to the relationships tab, go on the relationships page. We say add step. On the relationships tab, I'm going to create a new relationship, and then from the relationship page I'm going to verify relationship in post create page, and then I'm going to again actually navigate to relationships tab again. So we say here navigating to tab. Let's share this particular action as well. So we say proceed, and here we're going to land into the relationships page, and now we're going to verify relationship in the table, and then we're going to actually log out. Okay, after verification, say log out of Salesforce. We again share this action, and we are good to go. So now what you're going to do is once we have created all of these test steps, we have to make sure we are specifying all of these relationships and linking the parameters. So once we create the relationship, we want to make sure that the same name is something that we are comparing. So we map this here, and also in the web table we want to make sure that this particular relationship that we create is getting created. Okay, so we map this here. So now our test case is ready. We will pass the usernames and the passwords, and let's get going. So now let's run this particular test. So we have specified the username, passwords, and the URLs as a global property here. And let's simply run this. We will run it using the default parameters for now, and we say run. Now here we'll click to track the real-time progress. We'll give it some time for the agent to set up and run our specific test case. So now our Salesforce login page opens. It will enter the username and the password. it will click on login into Salesforce. Once logged in into Salesforce Lightning, it will wait for the dashboard to appear, and then it's going to click on the relationships tab, and then it's going to click on new and individual, and it's going to enter the relationship name, which is random. Now here we are going to compare the relationship name, and once the relationship name is compared in the web table, once it's loaded, then it will log out. So it's loaded here. It will compare the relationship name column. It will verify whether the relationship we created is there, and then once the verification is done, it will click on the profile image on the right hand side, and then it will log out, and then that's about it. Okay, so your test case has run, and here you will be able to see your real-time result with regards to your run and what has actually happened, and also you will be able to get in terms of real-time screenshot report of what actually happened with regards to your test. So it logged in, it went on to create a new relationship, it entered a random relationship name, and then it created it, it compared it, it verified it in the table, right, and then it logged out. So that's about it. Thank you so much for listening in.